Yo, BJ, so I shot you a message on Discord, but I just wanted to let you know I'm super happy to hear you're putting out episodes again. And your latest episode, where you're talking, if covering day 13, which is favorite character demise, which is, I think, probably my favorite prompt so far. Your stories were hilarious, dude. You talked about how turning that dragon into a cow was sort of anticlimactic. I don't think so. I think that's an amazing, amazing use, and that's why 3.5 Pathfinder Third Edition it sometimes gets called Rocket Tag because sometimes it comes down to a failed saving throw, and that's that. And if that's that, then that's that, man. I think that's a hell of a way to go. And then the story about the dragon swallowing the dude with all the beads of force, that's perfect, dude. That was awesome. Welcome back to the mic. Talk to you later. Take it easy. Peace out.
Hi, I'm BJ, and this is the Arcane Alienist Podcast. That was Joe Richter of the Hindsightless Podcast. Be sure and check out all his contributions for RPG A Day 2023. Thanks for the call, Joe. Thanks for the warm welcome back. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, I think, as you said, well, death scenes are often maybe not anticlimactic, but definitely sometimes not as expected. They come out of nowhere, a failed save, a bad roll, and then they're oftentimes spectacular, but oftentimes and sometimes very humorous or ironic way, not in the going down in the blaze of glory. It's cool when a character gets to do that, but I think more often tough. It's rather you know ignominious and embarrassing. But yeah, thanks for the call. Glad to hear your voice, and I'll talk to you later. And so let's turn on to the actual segment for today, which I pre-recorded before I took the call from Joe here. So I'm splicing this into to the episode real quick before it goes out for publication. Hey everybody, we're back for more RPG A Day 2023. Before I get started, I want to shout out to a couple of my fellow podcasters as part of the community here. First to Joe Richter of the Hindsightless Podcast. He hasn't called in, but he did send me a written message through Discord, just saying it was good to hear me back doing episodes again. And so thanks, Joe. You guys go check out. He's doing stuff for RPG A Day 2023. As always, Hindsightless is a great podcast. And then also Anthony Boyd, a relation of the Casting Shadows. He's got a blog and a podcast, and he's one of the architects of RPG A Day 2023. Also didn't call in, but he did mention me in his latest RPG A Day episode, which aired on the 22nd. Just mentioning that I'm back. So thanks for listening, Anthony, and thanks for everything you do for RPG A Day 2023. Okay, let's talk about today's topics. We're at days 19 and 20, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, we are. Day 19. What is your favorite published adventure? Oh, I should have thought more about this one before I hit record and started talking. My favorite published adventure. That's really hard to say. I've enjoyed running the cliched answer, keep on the Borderlands, because I ran it so many times, but I don't know if that's my favorite, but it is a go-to if I've got people who haven't played through that particular module, and particularly if they're trying to learn a little bit about D&D. I really enjoy the the first module, the first adventure published for Edge of the Empire, Fantasy Flight, Star Wars, where you're kind of a band of miscreants, and you manage to uh, inadvertently or maybe on purpose steal a ship from a bounty hunter and get in a little bit of a misadventure as part of the underworld of the outer rim of the Star Wars galaxy. That's a good. I really enjoyed that adventure because you're interplaying with the Hut, crime family and some of their agents, and that was a lot of fun. I've actually ran that one a couple times for a couple different groups. I really am enjoying Temple of Elemental Evil. We're on hiatus. I hope to get that back going. But as far as a favorite published adventure, I can't say that I've got a single favorite one. Um, you know, one that holds a special place for me actually comes from In Search of Adventure, which was a compilation of a basic B1 through 9, ostensibly to run in the world of Mystara. But they have some smaller adventures that they fill in, and and there's one called what is this one called? Elwyn Sanctuary, and it's a little filler adventure with a small dungeon, which dungeon in the general sense. It's actually a temple where an evil cleric has taken over, and you've got to brave through there to get through it. And that was actually one of the first adventures I ran as a player. Was run in as a player way back when I was in junior high school. And I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. I thought it was just something that my friend Brian made up as the DM until just a few years ago when I actually got In Search of Adventure as I was kind of diving back into BX and Old School Essentials, and thought that would be a nice book to have. I ordered a print on demand reprints from Drive Through RPG, just add B1 through 9, and then I was reading through it and looking at some of the filler adventures, like, oh my gosh, I ran through this adventure with the first character I ever played, my wizard character that was the first character I played with my friends in junior high. So Elwyn Sanctuary, probably not the. It's pretty straightforward and probably in the hands of in a good DM. It's a great adventure, and in the hands of a competent to mediocre DM, it's an adventure, and then probably you could screw it up if you weren't paying attention. So it's that simple. It's kind of what you make of it, but it's got a special place in my heart because of that. So those are some of my favorite published adventures. As usual, I can't pick just one thing. And day 20, what will still be playing in 20 years time? It just says we'll still be playing in 20 years time, ellipsis. If that's a yes or no question, I hope the answer is certainly yes. Let's see, 20 years from now, I'll be 68. Probably playing more. I'll be retired, hopefully. Well, I don't know, man. I'm Gen X. I don't know if we're actually going to get to retire. But assuming I get to retire at some point in my 60s, yeah, that would be a time where I'm probably going to be down at the game store, hanging out, trying to teach the new generation all about role playing games in 20 years time. But what will I play in 20 years time? Well, I like to think it'll be kind of like now. I'll have some. There'll be the current version of D&D or Pathfinder or Traveler or these games that stick around forever and just get put into different iterations, and I'll probably be playing that. But I think I will always probably want to go back to BX from time to time and still be playing some of that. And I don't know, Dungeon Crawl Classics, I mentioned is a game I don't play enough of, or it's a game that I've mentioned it a couple times throughout the month so far. I think that's a game that may, if it's not in a different iteration, if it's a game that kind of has its day in publication and then gets retired, it's certainly a game I'd probably dust off the shelf and want to play just for a lot of the gonzo weirdness and fun of it. So those are probably games I'll still be playing in 20 years time. And who knows, maybe I'll have finally perfected my own homebrew. As I mentioned, there's an ideal system somewhere in the back of my head that is once a rules light system that also can encompass multiple genres, so that I can just make up stuff on the fly. Hey, we're going to play a Western. Well, here we already know the system. Let's just make characters, and I'll come up with a scenario. Hey, we're going to play sci-fi. We're going to play fantasy. Here we go. And like I've said before, it's kind of hard to find a generic system that can be generic in terms of its rules approach and still emulate enough variants of genres. But maybe there's one out there and I just don't know about it. So that's where I'll be in 20 years. All right. That's it for days 19 and 20. Thanks for listening. Take care out there. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the Arcane Alienist podcast. The music you're hearing is Come and Get It by Scott Holmes Music. The cover art is by Dave Bone. Be sure to check out his stuff at ironseer.com. You can leave me a message. I have my SpeakPipe account linked to the show description. You can also send me an email at arcane.alienist@gmail.com. Just embed a voice memo, or I'll just read the text to your email during a future episode. Once again, thanks so much for listening.